And 6 o'clock is on the dot. Welcome to the S&P Sports Show on this May 18, 2023. Glad to have you on this wonderful program. So we got a lot of great stuff to do. We have the Western Conference Finals Game 2. Of course, Game 1, Miami came back and won. The horse racing, a title fight. We got a lot of great stuff to do. Of course, USFL. So there's a lot of stuff this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, we're trying over here, Sean. We're trying. Things are happening. Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Let's start off with predictions. Now, Tuesday, we had our draft lottery show before the draft lottery. And I made some predictions. Now, I'm not saying I'm Nostradamus or anything. Granted that even though the Spurs had the best chance of winning the draft lottery, along with the Pistons and the Rockets, they still had an 86% chance of not winning that first pick. Yet, what did I say was going to happen, Sean? That the Spurs would win the first pick and that at least one of the teams in the top three would not make it in the top three. And look what happened. Both teams, other than the Spurs, did not make it in the top three. And lo and behold, what else did I predict? Massive season ticket buying. Oh my God, they got Wemby, and guess what? 2,500 season ticket deposits in 24 hours. I mean, it's rigged. I hate to say it, but the draft lottery is rigged. You don't know the public doesn't know what combinations, what teams hold before the draft. Like, I did a little research, and after it was done, I watched the draft lottery, where they hold it in the back room somewhere, storage room B, I'll call it. Okay.
Stuff like that.
And they did the balls, and people were in the room. Okay. And they had the CPA dude from Ernst & Young. But you couldn't tell that it wasn't rigged. Dude, you could have gave that sheet to anybody. Did the general public have knowledge of what the combinations were to the ping pong balls before they were announced? No. Not at all. So, I mean, it's easy to rig a draft lottery. It just really is. So, you have to ask yourself, like, how do you make it non-rig proof?
Great question.
Well, here are some suggestions. One is you need to give the combinations of the balls to the public at least 24 hours before the draft. That way, when the draft lottery is over, you can watch it in the back room and you'll see the combinations. Not that they couldn't do it by themselves, but just saying.
Right.
2, it needs to be live. Because when you're doing the draft lottery, they use the balls, okay? Only the top 4 picks actually get selected in the lottery process. And then after that, everything else falls in the order. 5 through 14, goes automatic. So you're really only selecting the top 4 with the ping pong balls. You're going to tell me that you couldn't have done that in 16 minutes? It took me 16 minutes to watch it. You're going to tell me that when the first winner came up, boom, San Antonio. Okay, we know the Spurs got the first pick. Well, naysayers are going to be like, well, it defeats the purpose of the intrigue because you want to know who it is at the end, not at the beginning, because then people won't care. Well, crap, people want to know if they're drafting 2, 3, and 4. Show it live. I want to know and I want to see it. So it needs to be live. Okay? The draft lottery needs to be live with the ping pong balls in the machine, them doing it. You know, I mean, it needs to happen that way. It needs to be live on TV, and the ping pong balls need to be live. Okay?
So everybody can see it.
3. Exactly. 3. I'm just going to go through my steps. 1, live on TV. 2, the ping pong balls got to be live. Okay? 3, the combinations of the balls assigned to each team for the draft lottery should be released in advance to the general public at least 24 hours before, so you know your combinations. No different than going to Speedway and buying your Powerball tickets. You know at least 24 hours in advance if you want to, right? Here's number 4. Okay? The guy pulling the balls out and pushing whatever mechanism it is, and I noticed this, okay? That mechanism at the top and in the back, it should be covered. And like on the sides where you can only see it, like only the TV viewer and anybody in front should be able to see it. But the guy who has the ping pong ball sucking up shouldn't be allowed to see it. So it should be covered. That way he can't have the balls closer to where it gets sucked up and dictate which ball gets sucked up. Because he can see a 5, a 4, last digit combination, and he could have an earpiece in his ear for all you know saying, don't push it unless the 5 gets sucked up. Right?
Right.
Or 6. Right? So, with that being said, those 4 things need to happen. But let's just be real here. The NBA ain't never going to do it because they want to be able to control the narrative. And they want it to keep it rigged so they can make the selection and everything else. So, there you have it. I told y'all Wemby was going for reasons. Y'all could say, well, the Spurs had picked, but there were reasons. You honestly think the league wanted to have a Danny Ferry incident and have Toronto win the pick and Wemby says, hell no, I'm not going to go or withdraw from the draft? Hell no. The draft lottery is rigged. They know how to rig it. Doing it this way kind of ensures things more. Like I said, the general public doesn't have these combinations in advance. They should. So I think those are some things going forward. Now, if the NBA wants to invite me to the draft lottery, by all means, let's work it out. I'm 90 miles away from Chicago. Put me in the room and prove me wrong. I want to see the combinations in advance. I want to know that you're not lying. It's no different than the year that the Lakers got Anthony Davis, and then and they had to trade all these picks to New Orleans, and New Orleans was left talentless. And then all of a sudden, New Orleans wins the rights to Zion. You don't think they probably weren't promising a back room for that trade, for that to happen, so that the Lakers try to get a dynasty with Anthony Davis? Come on now.
Like, who you kidding, basically?
Man, everybody, man, it was so easy to see what was coming with that pick, that they were going to win it, even though they didn't have the worst record, right?
Right.
Wasn't hard to see. Always going, the first pick's always going to go to a deprived market, needing it the most. No different with the Pistons. They were the most deprived market at a time, needing an influx. And what happened? They won the draft lottery and got Medicaid. Yep, I'm calling it Medicaid because dude's just going to be an injury liability. Hate to say it. So, next year, who's going to suck so bad and going to be in the same position next year? Well, let's think.
Okay.
The Bulls, Pacers,
Hornets.
Washington, New Orleans. Well, probably, you know what? Washington.
Yeah.
Washington just seems like a prime candidate right now to get that going. So, right now, I'll predict the Washington Wizards for the first pick of the next draft. Because it's the Wizards. And all they got is Bradley Beal. What does that do for morale? I mean,
it's not doing anything.
They need something to jumpstart that franchise. They honestly do. They're like the perfect candidate for that. So I'm going to go with them. And we'll see what happens. But right now, this draft lottery was rigged. Totally rigged. You could see it coming a mile away. Now, I'm not the only person that said that this was going to happen in terms of the Spurs winning it. I just told you all the reasons why they were going to win it. Okay? And, all right, let's just be real. It's what it is. It's what it is. And nothing's going to change that dynamic. Not at all. Not at all.
And that is a great moment in the S&P Sports Show history for why the NBA Combine, NBA draft lottery was rigged. That should be
it is,
right there.
But everything I said that was going to happen, Sean, happened. Not like I'm Nostradamus here. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I can see things, and I have a pretty good track record on getting this kind of stuff right. As you know, it's weird. It's kind of freaky, isn't it? But
it is.
Yeah, it is. But I'm telling you that this draft lottery was rigged, and it is what it is. Everything lined up for the Spurs. Them needing season tickets, them being a bad team, them needing an injection, the French connection with What's France? If you had to predict what France's favorite NBA team is, it was probably the Spurs. I mean, they had Tony Parker and Boris Diaw, probably the two best French players ever. So why not go to the Spurs? And then you got Pop, who's like a coaching legend. Now you have another generational big man on the Spurs. You know, just keep that tradition going. Plus, all this new generation of Latino NBA fans in Texas can now gravitate to the Spurs in the 7th largest market in the United States. I mean,
I know.
Just saying. I mean, as long as I don't end up like Will Smith being chased by the DEA and got to find Gene Hackman here, right. I think we're okay with conspiracy theories, you know?
Right.
But, I mean, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Now, let me say this. Now we have the lottery done. What does that leave the other teams?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Houston probably going to take, I would imagine, either Brandon Miller or Scoot Henderson. I mean, it was me. I'd probably take Henderson. He's built like a damn linebacker. He's ready to go. I probably wouldn't want somebody as immature as Brandon Miller with the gun issues. That's a little scary. But
it is.
That's me. And then you've got the Thompson twins, who I'm fine with the Pistons taking at 5, him or Whitmore from Villanova. I'm fine with either one. Now, I don't want the kid from Houston, Jaros Walker. Nope. I've seen all I needed to see in college basketball from the Houston Cougars. Don't do it. Don't do it. Which Thompson twin do you want? Well,
very great question.
One has better offensive game and one has probably better defensive game. But I mean, they both got hop. One has a little bit more hops than the other. So, I mean, it's kind of tough year for the Pistons. It kind of is.
And probably going to have a hard decision of who to pick until the draft is really, really, really the day.
I mean, it's tough. It really is. And I just don't know who's going to end up winning the draft besides the Spurs, obviously.
And I mean, their tickets going up. Well, for selling out.
Yeah. I mean, if it was me, and I'm the Pistons right now, I'm at 5. I'm probably thinking about moving to 2.
Just to get a trade, like trading up.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. Charlotte's at 2. Would they take Bogdanovich in 5 and maybe Bagley and you could package them together? and move up to 2? Maybe. I mean, you can get Scoot Henderson, man. He's the guy you're looking for. If you can't get Wemby, he's a perfect fit for the Pistons. I mean, dude seems hungry, built like a linebacker, 6'6". I mean, well, he's 6'2". He's a point guard.
That's tall for a point guard with that size and that height.
I mean, he's big. I mean, Jaden Ivey at the 2. Pistons need a point guard. I mean, they do. They need a point guard and they need a 3. Now,
While I was just looking at the mock draft, they, according to Bleacher Report, they believe that the Pistons will get Jarius Walker from Houston. According to Bleacher Report.
telling you right now, probably something you don't want. They're going to regret that.
Especially as a freshman, because I'm very iffy on freshmen.
I mean, I'd rather have Whitmore from Villanova. But to each their own. I mean, if the Hornets took Scoot Henderson at 2, what happens to LaMelo Ball?
Right.
I mean,
he probably won't be the same player like he was.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, it'll be definitely interesting. But I mean, I think the Hornets need somebody more like Brandon Miller. I mean, he seems more of a he seems more of a fit. You know? I mean,
because he can score and make, and especially from the 3-pointer.
I mean, I think somebody like a Soar Thompson for the Pistons, right?
Right.
He brings defense, defensive pressure, some versatility. You know, I mean, he kind of fits that mold more. That or somebody like Whitmore. You know, dude's dribbling definitely needs to improve. That much I can say just by watching, you know. I mean, there's one guy to me that's kind of like a wild card in there is Anthony Black from Arkansas. He's 6'6". And having a 6'6" point guard. I mean, that could be crazy. I mean,
right. Especially from that height.
I'm just not very high on Jarius Walker. I mean, I just
not confident.
We got enough bigs. It's time to lay off the bigs and start thinking about handling the positions of need if you really want to start contending. Then, I think you need to address the point guard and the small forward. Now, what's easier to get in the market? Well, you got Cade and you got Ivy, so you kind of got two guards there already. I mean, Cade, I guess you could say he's a small forward in a way with his height, but
Right.
because I think he's more of a shooting guard with his body type. I mean, that's me at least. And then Ivy at the point. I mean, what are we talking about here? He's 6'4". I mean, he's your point guard. Kate Cunningham, he should be your shooting guard, right?
Okay.
So he's 21 years old. He's 6'7". That's perfect for a shooting guard. That gives you a lot of height. Now, he's your guard. You need a small forward. You have your fours and your fives already. I mean, you got Duran, you got Bagley, you traded for the Wiseman. I mean, I'm looking at this Pistons roster, and the weakest thing is backup point guard and small forward.
Because they don't have a legit small forward at all.
I mean, they got Bogdanovich, but he sucks on defense. You know?
And that's unacceptable right there if you're going to be a small forward playing like that.
I mean, what's left on this team right now? Right? Cade.
Correct.
So Cade should be your starter at shooting guard. Ivy at the point. You got Bogdanovich at the 3, but he's going to be traded.
Right.
You got Isaiah Livers, capable off the bench, and then you got your bigs. Duran, Bagley, Wiseman. I mean, Omarua maybe off the bench. Don't forget, you got Isaiah Stewart there too.
Forgot about him.
I mean, and you got Alec Burks. I mean, at this point, you got to be thinking you need a 3. That's your position of weakness. Somebody with some energy. Because you've got tons of bigs. You don't need another big.
For what?
And you need a backup point guard.
That would be the right opportunity to do that right as of right now. Because they don't really have a legit backup.
Because the bench is weak at the point guard position. It's weak. I mean, it's just it just is what it is.
Right.
So I mean, I think at this point that's the way we need to roll.
Just kick it up a notch.
They need a 3 in the worst way. That and a backup point guard. So the other thing is this with the Pistons, though. They've got this kid in Italy that they drafted who's just waiting in the wings, I think. So, Gabriel Procida.
Okay.
He was drafted last year in the second round. You know, they've just been stashing this kid. You know, I mean, he's a 3-point sniper. He's what you would call one of those draft and stash kind of guys, you know.
All right.
I mean, so at this point, what are the future plans with this guy? I mean, I think this is what you got to ask yourself. Is he going to be the future at the 3? He's only 20 years old. He plays at a pretty damn good team in Europe in Alba Berlin. Okay?
All right.
I mean, he's 6'7". He's pretty slender. He weighs like just under 200 pounds. Shooting guard, small forward type. He's worked his way up. Now he's at Alba Berlin.
Okay. Well, that's some great information right there.
So, I mean, I think he's under contract till like 19, 20, 21. Oh, no, technically he just signed a contract last year at Alba Berlin. I don't know what the length of that contract is. Okay.
Check that out.
But I mean, he's 20 years old. He probably needs like another 2 years in Italy. Or in Europe to develop. But I mean, he's probably going to be ready soon, I would imagine.
Right.
You know, I mean, from what I'm looking here right now, this guy comes off the bench for Alba Berlin right now.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll see here. I mean,
Right.
I think the Pistons are thinking this is going to be their guy in the future, to do their thing. And, we'll see what happens. I mean, this team in Berlin, they won the last 3 championships in Germany. And I'm not saying that they're going to win the championship this year.
Right. You're just giving and stuff.
But I mean, let's try to get a little more detailed here on the standings here.
Okay.
Statistics. Okay.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
So, right at the beginning. Oh, they're in second place right now.
All right.
And they won 9 out of their last 10 games. So, game schedule. Let's see here. 9, unless there's a team in the league that's 10-0, but looks like they're in the quarterfinals here, some playoffs.
All right.
Right now. Season stats for Germany basketball. All competitions and game schedules, playoffs. What do we got? All regular season games. Okay. Well, would be nice if they just gave me the who won the damn, whatever. But I guess we don't get that. Not in German basketball. They just don't tell you what the standings are. Oh, table. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. So their basketball team went 31-3, but yet finished in second place because there was a team that finished 32-2. Hard to believe. So that's crazy. And they're playing a team that finished 18-16 in the playoffs. Anyways, enough about that. Trying to get some more information on this kid.
Yeah.
And he's pretty tall.
So that people may be.
So this season he's
sure
averaging
on
7.
YouTube. I'm pretty sure
he's averaging 7.1 points. He's only 20 years old.
Oh.
You
Okay,
know,
so he got a couple of years.
And he had a game high of 16 points, so it's like, give him a couple of years to develop. He ain't there yet, but in 2 years, he could be right. Doesn't mean that you couldn't draft a 3, though. They need a 3. They need a 1. They need somebody with some athleticism. I mean, I'm probably taking the best athlete at this point at 5. I mean, that's what I would do. I would take the
best of the best in that draft.
The best athletes you can and develop them. One that can dribble, one that can create their own shot. The rest will come. But you don't need a big. You've got Duran, you got Wiseman, you got Bagley. I mean, that's what I say. That's what I say. Now.
All right. Now we got that out the way.
Where are we at with other things? Well, let's talk Lakers tonight.
Yep.
Because I'm sure we'll be talking about them later during the No House Advantage props. I'm sure.
Yep.
So, the Nuggets won game 1, and they were chugging along there. And then the last couple minutes, Lakers mounted this big comeback, and they made this defensive switch. And boom. We might start somebody else now and then put Davis on the off guy. You want to know what? It's going to work. There's no way the league is letting the Nuggets win this series. Okay? It's just not going to happen. And there's no way Denver's going up 2-0. But you know what? I could be wrong. But if Denver goes up 2-0, let me just go ahead and tell you that after game 4, it'll be 2-2. The league's not letting Denver go up by more than one game. They're not letting 3-1 happen with 2 home games unless Jokic gets suspended like Draymond Green. About the only way. Just because of the league narrative, I'm just going to go ahead and say it tonight. Take the Lakers. Take the Lakers. Just because just because. There's, I'll be shocked if the Lakers lose tonight. Absolutely shocked.
Right.
So
Because
you're a
Denver
betting man. I mean, I don't even know what the odds are for. I can look them up here. You know,
okay.
like
You do that.
you know, if I was to say what's the odds tonight and who's gonna win,
I got it in
and
my
what
head,
are
by the
the
way.
odds and everything else, right now the
I got it
Lakers are plus 180.
plus
I would
180.
go ahead and take the Lakers at plus 180.
I wonder from what site who says that.
Oh, well,
Because there's a couple
it's out
sites.
there. Maybe something's changed since then,
Okay. Because it
but
says Denver's a 5.5, and it looks like the public's liking the Lakers. A lot of people are betting the Lakers 54%, according to
yeah,
odds.
that may have changed the line a little bit. But, you know, I don't know what the line is right now. It may have changed since that, but I'm
Let me check the
the
opening. Let me
Lakers
check.
are probably still plus something. The Nuggets are 5.5 point favorites. The over
Because
under is 226.
okay. Because what happened was Denver was open up when it opened, it was a 6, but then it went down to 5.5.
Okay, so the Lakers are now at plus 175, I guess.
Okay.
Still worth it. Still worth taking the plus 175.
Then also
Why
with the
not?
Miami, hey, and then also got to pay attention to the player prop because the line will change after game 1.
Well, put it like this. If Denver's up 2-0, we'll see. But,
Right.
right now, you just get that feeling. Just get that feeling.
And also I'm looking at the Heat and the Celtics game. It's a lot of people that's putting a lot of money on the Heat than the Celtics, even though Miami's like a +9.
Well, I think that series is a little different in terms of ways you can gamble on that.
Right. Because I sucked last night with the gambling. I missed all my picks. That was unexpected.
So, I mean, I think the way to roll with this is pretty simple. And I think the Celtics will win game 2.
They're gonna have to, especially the way Al Horford played. He played bad.
I mean, I just don't see it any other way. And it's pretty much that simple.
Right. And I did hear something this morning that I know Francis Ngannou signed with PFL because he won't fight till like 2024. And he says they're trying to get like a UFC PFL crossover fight, something like that.
Well, it's the only way it's going to happen with John Jones. I mean, I don't know if Dana's going to do it.
It would be nice, though.
I just don't know if it's going to happen.
Right. Just like when PBC and Top Rank did it with the Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight.
I just don't know if
that Dana White will do it. And I don't even know who's going to win the what's that fight? Not the fight, the horse race, Preakness.
Well, Mage is the favorite. I mean, you know, we got the Preakness this weekend, you know? I mean, what do we got here for the horses here? We got odds and we got everything else. I mean, so Mage is in the third. There's only 8 horses.
Okay.
The Kentucky Derby had like 21 horses.
Goodness gracious.
There's only 8 this time. Okay? Only 8. So you want to know what?
What's that?
Better odds to win. And, you know, I mean, from what I'm looking here at the odds, I mean, the next best odds after Major First Mission at 2.5 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Got another horse at 4 to 1, 6 to. Then after that, it's all double-digit horses. I mean, he's probably got a pretty damn good chance of, you know, of winning here. There's only 8 horses here, so
that should be more competitive.
You know, there's a lot of long shots in this particular race. I mean, what else do we got? We got National Treasure at 4 to 1.
Okay.
He's never been worse than 4th in any of his races, but he hasn't had a win except for one race.
Oh.
You got Chase the Chaos at 50 to 1. Probably not going to do it. Mage. You got Coffee with Chris at 20 to 1.
20 to 1.
This horse finished 5th place in the Federico Tessio. It's probably going to get worn out early. Red Route 1, 10 to 1. He won the Bathhouse Row victory. Probably not a blazing horse. Then you got Perform at 15 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
This horse finished 5.5 lengths behind Mage in a race in January at Gulfstream Park.
Ah.
He's a closer, but may not get the hot pace early.
Okay.
Then you got Blazing Sevens at 6 to 1 with a trainer who's won the Preakness twice. He's one of the nation's top 2-year-olds. We'll see. And then you got First Mission at 5 to 2.
Oh, 5-2. That's some pretty interesting odds right there. Since there's 8 horses.
Might need another big horse. He's got a couple wins. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean,
Right.
8 horses. I mean, mate, in 4 of them probably,
Right.
So he's probably got a good chance at repeating, you got to think. One and,
Right.
you know, and if he can win that, then, you know, you go to the, you go to the Belmont, which, you know, is a little bit of a tougher event. You know, I mean, not the easiest event. I think to me, the Belmont's usually the hardest, you know,
Then the
but
Kentucky Derby. I never heard that term.
I mean, I expect more horses in the Belmont. I just do.
Okay.
You know, I think you'll probably have like 10 or 12 horses at the Belmont, but if Mage wins,
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's opened up for debate and discussion, and we'll see, you know, what happens.
Right. And then there's like a title fight in boxing right now. Is actually is undisputed for lightweight. It's Haney and Loma at the MGM in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Lomachenko and Haney this weekend. I mean, the only way I can see Lomachenko winning is he's got to get in there on the inside. I don't know, and be able to throw punches. That's not his style. You know, that's not his style. So I mean, Haney's just too big. Probably going to throw the jab, and you know, we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
But I
And
like Haney.
okay. And how many rounds?
Oh, I think it's going to go to full 12.
Okay.
It's going to go to full 12. You know, and it'll probably be like a unanimous decision. 117, 111, 116, 112. You know, one of those fights where, you know, you win 8 or 9 rounds. The other guy wins 3.
But
And
stuff like that.
yep. So that's what I predict to happen. And then Haney will probably get Shakur Stevenson, I would imagine, next. And that fight will
Gotcha.
have a lot more hype, and you'll probably see that fight come. What are we at now? May, probably November.
Okay.
See
Like
that
when
fight
college football
happening.
season.
I can see that fight happening mid-November. Haney
When
and
college,
Stevenson for the title, probably mid-November.
probably when college football season winding down.
Yeah, you know, like, well, I always say, you know, if you're gonna do that fight, you're probably gonna do it like the weekend before Thanksgiving, or 2 weekends before Thanksgiving.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, it could be early December. That would be another option, but you'd probably want to do it the weekend after the conference championship games because people, you know,
We'll watch it. We'll watch it. We'll watch conference championship regardless of
exactly. So then you're probably talking December 10th, something like that, you know, in that range. So we'll go with something like that. Some a November, early December fight. There.
right. Because, like you said, during December, you got to wait till after the college championship, and then the smaller bowler games will be played out.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. So that's why I'm saying probably weekend after the the conference championship games.
Right.
So we got
Okay.
no house advantage.
We do have the player prop picks.
All right, let's get to them.
All right, so here's the first one. Nikola Jokic, 29 points.
Sure, why not?
Okay. Austin Reeves, 15.5 points. Because he's been lights out so far.
Sure, why not?
Okay. Michael Porter, 6.5 rebounds.
Why not?
Okay. And then finally, LeBron James, 6.5 assists. I definitely can see this as an increase. I see this as more.
Oh, I'll say yes. I think, I'm going to tell people besides the player props, and I don't know if No House Advantage has this or not, but
They do.
put
They do.
the money on the Lakers.
Right. They do.
If there's
They
something where it's plus 175 on No House Advantage right now, I don't know if it's on there, but or if you can look at it quick and see what they get, what it is, but
They don't have the point spread. They just have like the numbers.
oh, so what's it at?
Right. So but they do have it like for matchups though. So like between Jokic and James, they got James as an underdog like 3.5 between the two.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just going to say this. If you can find it where you're betting on the teams, take the Lakers tonight. And I would take the overs on all of the props that you said.
Yep, that's what I did before they even started. It's like over. And by the way, for the hotline, if you live in Michigan, playing the No House Advantage, the number is 800-270-7117. In Wisconsin, it is 800-426-2535. And in Ohio, it is 800-589-9966. Once again, the promo code is S4A to get an instant match deposit up to $100. And I said before, if you live in Michigan, Wisconsin, Texas, California, or whatever, you can play No House Advantage. So it's a very fun app. And I'm trying to recover from yesterday because yesterday was a pretty bad night for me. And of course, YouTube TV screwed it up at the very last second.
Like I said, streaming.
Exactly. Yeah, YouTube TV better get it together before football season because that was pretty unacceptable.
Well, maybe it's good it happened now rather than on Sundays during football season,
Right. So it's better than now than later if you think about it.
That's what I say. I guess it was related to some type of commercial technology that they were using in terms of the commercials. That's why that commercial thing just kept popping up there.
Yeah, that's what happened to me last night.
So that's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's what happened. Okay, guys, we will see you on Tuesday at the same time as always. So yes, nothing happened with my camcorder. Everything's all right. So we will see you guys Tuesday at the same time. And of course, USFL. Hopefully the Panthers can win again.
Well, it's a must win for the Panthers.
For real. Because they have not won a home game. That's the sad part about it. Oh boy. And by the way, I will be at the game. So just letting you guys know that.
That's crazy.
Exactly. All right. See you guys Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.